Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Based on the title of the video, you already know we're doing an overview of season 7 of Love is Blind, and this season we're in DC. If you do not know who I am, my name is Charlenicole. I want to welcome my OG family members back to the channel. Now, but if you are new, please do not be shy. Let me know you came through. And the best way to say hello to me and my family is just by pressing the like button, just to let us know you came through. We're also trying to grow the family around here, so make sure you press the subscribe button because we do all types of reactions and reviews. Now let's go ahead and get into episodes 1 and 2. Now, in between episodes 1 and 2, we're introduced to all the hopeful singles. We soon see the strongest couples. One of those couples is Tyler and Ashley. I'm not going to lie, that is my favorite couple. Ashley is the go-getter marketing director who is also a part of a nonprofit. Safe to say that she's chosen her career over relationship due to witnessing the failure of her mother go through 2 failed marriages. Reason Ashley is still single is because Ashley don't go out like that. Let's just keep it clear, because she's definitely a catch. Tyler is supposedly the shy teddy bear. He comes off really shy and really cute. He's a nuclear security officer. But Tyler's trauma is he actually witnessed his mother get disowned by her own family, her father to be exact, because she had children outside of her race. Seeing that broken family dynamic, Tyler is seeking that family that he's never been privy to. The reason why he's still single is because he's very materialistic when it comes to women. He always runs after the really, really beautiful women. This is the first time that Tyler is starting to get to know somebody from the inside out. Now, the second strongest couple is Garrett and Taylor. Garrett is a brainiac physicist who has a very demanding career. And then also he has trauma from a failed long-term relationship. That relationship was like 7 years, and he's always held the fear of being placed back in the same situation. So that's why Garrett is still single. Now, she is just as nerdy and geeky as Garrett is. She's very intelligent and she's a policy advocate. Taylor didn't really want to tell Garrett her ethnicity. She wanted to keep it a secret because she didn't want him to know what she looks like. I feel like to Garrett feared her being black, not saying that Garrett is racist. Reading between the lines, I'm falling for you, Taylor, but I am terrified because my preference is white women. LIB is very known for glorifying interracial relationships. We also get introduced to Monica and Steven, okay? Now, Monica is a 36-year-old materialistic tech sales specialist or associate. Well, I don't know what tech sales is, but anyways, you can tell that she is ready for the ring and she is ready for some baby, and that is the only reason why she is here. I don't know none of these people, but I am only able to assume based on what comes out of these people's mouths. So I'll say this about Steven. First initial perception of Steven is he is a 33-year-old cheating teddy bear electrician who allowed his guilt to bring up therapy early on in the pods with Monica just to get in front of his cheating narrative back at home. He's a cheater. Although I like Steven because I like men with a little bit more meat on them, okay? And he has a funny personality. The only issue is whenever a man brings up a narrative about him, 9 times out of 10 is true. Okay, when I heard that, I was yelling at the TV, Monica, run. Don't do it, Monica. Don't do it. But it is what it is. Monica started falling for him, and they ended up setting up a date and getting to know each other. So, yeah. All right. Then we're introduced to Tim and Alex. Tim comes off as spoiled and spiteful. Now, what I wrote down for Tim is that Tim is the spoiled and spiteful content strategist. Tim does express losing 2 sisters, but he gives off only child syndrome, where it's my way or the highway type of energy. Initially, I'm not really feeling Tim whatsoever. He ends up coupling up with Alex. Now, Alex is a blunt fashion content strategist. Alex expressed value in marriage based off of the examples of her parents. Now, keep in mind, her parents never married each other. They both have MS. Father married her stepmother, and they've been married for like 25 plus years, right? And whenever he has episodes, she called her stepmom a rock star and says she's always helping her dad out. Her mother never got married. Her mother was in a 15-year relationship with this guy, living her best life. But then the moment that her MS episode started happening, the man left her mama high and dry. So I feel like Alex values marriage because it's going to save her from the heartbreak that she witnessed her mother go through. Honestly, I can't really read her personality. Like, she seems a little boring to me, but she's a beautiful girl. I'll give her that. Now, the first love triangle is between Leo, Hannah, and Brittany. Now, Leo is the art dealer con artist, okay? Has no social skills or awareness. He lacks personality, and he uses his inheritance to get people to like him. Okay, I wrapped it up in a gift for you. That is Leo. Leo pissed me off, okay? I don't like Leo. It's unfortunate that he lost his grandparents. Then he lost his parents. So that in turn allowed him to inherit art gala, and art dealers really make a lot of money. My issue with Leo, okay? Leo, you sat up here, gave this whole sad, sappy story about how you want a woman to love you for you and not for your money. And you know what you do, Leo?
Money, all my money, but financially, like, very well off. Yeah. Like, I'm a rich fucking artist. I have money.
You go into the pods, and that's the first thing you bring up to these women. You don't want somebody to love you for your money, Leo. Don't share the fact that you have money, Leo. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't understand, bitch. Don't understand.
And that's how I knew Leo in the real world, he has no social awareness to carry on a real conversation with a female. It may seem that way in the pods because he doesn't have the pressure. So that gives Leo actually the superpower to con somebody into thinking that he's actually what he is not. He exudes the confidence that he actually lacks in the real world. Now, remember, y'all, if you agree with me, disagree with me, whatever the case may be, drop it down in the comments so we can keep this conversation going, because I want to know if y'all are in agreement to where I'm going with these people. But let's keep going. Now, in this love triangle, we also have Hannah and Brittany. Let's start with Brittany. So Brittany, she's the ditzy trophy wife, esthetician. I'm sorry, it's hard to say that word. I get a little tongue twisted. I hate to say this. And Brittany seems to be a really nice girl as the episodes continue. Brittany comes off as a gold digger. She doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to cook. She wants to go to her aerobics classes all day. I feel like Brittany just doesn't have much to her outside of her looks. It's not to say that she's a bad person. Sometimes there are women that are natural trophy wives that really are brought up that way. And I feel like her background is, always been part of a family that's been well off. She also expressed that her type of men in the real world are athletes and rock stars. It's not an act or anything. This is just who Brittany is. But the reason why she tried this experiment is because she wants to find a man that actually cares about her. You're messing with high value men like Brittany is all the time. High value men usually have a pick of the litter. She's one of many. She's looking to be taken care of, but she wants to also be loved. Now, the third person in this love triangle is Hannah. Okay, let's talk about Miss Hannah. Hannah is the immature medical device sales associate or clerk. By listening to Hannah, she's always been kind of on the bigger side. She carries a lot of insecurity from her days of being a chubby child, but she's also a very pretty young lady. Not only is Hannah insecure, but she lacks emotional maturity. She's very influenceable. At a certain point, allows the girls in the women's quarters to dictate her choices in the pods. It gets a little ugly, okay? One of those choices that Hannah has is Nick D. And the second triangle is Nick D, Hannah, and Leo. We already spoke about Leo's. Nick D is the real estate agent, the suave, charismatic, overly confident real estate agent with the failed football career. Nick D is absolutely charming. He charms his way through all the ladies in the pod. So much that they call him Rico Suave, okay? He's that dude. The third love triangle, which is between Marissa, Ramses, and Bohdan. Marissa is the 31-year-old high-spirited law clerk that has experienced a rough upbringing. She also carries a lot of trauma from her father leaving her when they were younger. And I feel like she has always looked for that love in the wrong places. Very beautiful girl. Then we also have Ramses. Ramses is, I call him the divorced rebel. He never felt good enough growing up. He's always felt like he could never live up to his father's expectations of him. I don't think that he's very dependable. He comes off as not as dependable. It's all about what he wants to do. And then he kind of manipulates people into thinking that he's doing it for the sake of others. In actuality, I feel like Ramses is very non-committal. Again, this is my initial perception. I feel like Ramses is very lost. Doesn't really confirm his belief mechanism, so we don't know what he believes in. He claims that he decided to move and veer away from being a Christian. You know, that's what caused the ending of his marriage. So I'm not really sure. I'm trying to understand Ramses, but I don't know. We got Bohdan that's in this three-way relationship who is also dating Marissa. He's the humble retired Marine. He's a sales manager currently, and he's from Ukraine. He has a really cool personality, okay? What I got from him, he's tired of people placing a misjudgment on him. He does have like a really cool vibe with Marissa, and they really relate in many areas of their life, especially their time of service, you know, in the military. As we move along into episodes 3, 4, and 5, Garrett and Tyler get engaged, okay? They finally meet each other, and Garrett is reassured when he sees that dating blind didn't turn out to be dating black, okay? So he sees Taylor, and you could see the reassurance on his face. He's like, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. White skin, white skin, white skin. Again, I am not saying that this man is racist. It's just he has a preference. So... honestly, the sparks fly. The chemistry is undeniable, so I'm happy to see that for them. We also see Tyler and Ashley. They also get engaged. They meet each other, and baby, the fireworks go off. Do you hear me? Go Tyler and Ashley. They are my favorite couple. The physical attraction is definitely there. They also definitely match really well. So now, if y'all are wondering where the drama is, here the drama starts here around episode 3, all surrounding Leo. Leo is trash, all right? Leo is trash. He becomes so manipulative around episode 3 and 4. The moment that he realizes that Nick D is dating Hannah and only wants Hannah, game on. Do you hear me? Not only does Nick D embody the guy that always gets the girl over him in real life, but he has the nerve to be dating one of the two girls that's actually giving Leo the time of day. This is the effed up thing. Now, I'm not saying Leo did not like Hannah, okay? He liked both of them. I felt like he was veering more towards Brittany, but he was undecided. I felt like it was a power thing for Leo because he's never had this in real life. He's never had two girls that are interested in him. He's never had this feeling of feeling so powerful. Like in his mind, he felt like it was his decision to choose one. So to have Nick D come into the equation and kind of take Hannah, that means that he would only have one pick now, and he would lose that power. And I felt like at that point, that's when the game started. And the game became, I'm going to get Hannah before Nick D can get her. I can finally win the girl against the guy that always gets the girl. I feel like Leo was having this whole power trip between Brittany and Hannah. And then he does something that was so stupid. Meets with Brittany, and he tells Brittany the truth. Hey, I'm feeling you. I care about you, but I also care about somebody else as well, right? And it's Hannah. The moment that he finds out that Nick D is pursuing Hannah, what he does is he kind of number twos Brittany. He tells her, like, look, I don't know who I want right now. I'm indecisive. But in all actuality, I feel like he knew exactly what he was doing. Just in case he didn't get Hannah, Brittany was the backup. Manipulation. He's starting to manipulate. hey, I don't want to lose you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start stringing you along. So we're going to go on another date. Okay. This fool goes on another date with Brittany and had the nerve to ask her what kind of ring does she want him to propose to her with. And then when Brittany says, oh, well, you better not be asking Hannah this fool says, well, I have to know it from both of you. That's how I know he has no social awareness. Leo doesn't even know how to play the game correctly. Leo is lost in the sauce and he don't know what to do. Okay. Anyways, let's fast forward. So Leo ends up cornering Hannah in the pods as well and pressures her to marry him after telling Brittany that, you know, it's a possibility that we'll move forward, but just give me time to think. He ran and tried his luck with Hannah. Eventually, Hannah ends up making the decision to move forward with Nick because she realizes that her connection is actually realer on Nick D's side, okay, over there. The moment that Hannah finally makes her choice and chooses Nick D, Leo has the nerve to try to jump in front of the narrative, okay, to save his butt, try to play with Hannah. He literally tells Hannah, oh, well, yeah, you're definitely meant to be with Nick D. You should be with him. Do you mind going and telling Brittany that I chose her? No, Leo, you trash, okay? You're trash for that. Proud of Brittany because Brittany actually stands up to Leo. After talking to Hannah and Hannah giving her the tea, Brittany ends up writing him this long drawn letter or whatever expressing herself. So kudos to you, Brittany, for doing that. I'm proud of you, girl, for standing up for yourself. Brittany still ends up telling him yes when he proposes to her. I feel like she told him yes because at the end of the day, he's still rich, okay? He's very well off. Brittany and Leo move forward. They finally see each other, and obviously, it's exactly what I told you guys to begin with. Leo has no social awareness. He has no personality. When him and freaking Brittany finally see each other, it was the most awkward, uncomfortable thing I have ever watched in my life. I don't know what the heck was going on, and I felt so bad for Brittany.
Okay, but why is Leo so creepy? Like, why is he leaning into her neck like that, and she's not leaning into him? And then his hands here just give me so much ick. Like, he is like grabbing her neck and holding her way too tight. And she just doesn't even look comfortable at all.
As I continue to see him gripping at her neck so oddly, he's never had a woman of her caliber in his life give him the time of day. And you telling me he's sitting here engaged to her? Like, social awareness would allow you to understand there are boundaries and she is uncomfortable, but clearly he could not read the room. Brittany ends up shutting down the opportunity to move forward and go to Mexico with Leo. Brittany assumed that with him expressing how well off he was, that his looks and his overall personality and demeanor would correlate when she saw him, and it absolutely did the opposite. They did try to go on a trip together in Miami, and I feel like Brittany did that out of sympathy because she felt bad for not continuing the experiment with him, because soon after they went their separate ways. Okay, fast forward to Monica and Steven. Monica and Steven end up getting engaged. They end up seeing each other and end up liking each other, so they are officially engaged. Okay, of course, Tim and Alex also get engaged and see each other, and Alex is overly nervous. She's so nervous to the point that I kind of took it as she wasn't really that into him. When I further watched her play with her hair, I realized that was like her protective mechanism. Like, she was just really nervous, you know. She kept twiddling her finger in her hair or whatever. Alex also was feeling Tim the same way that Tim was feeling her, but the only difference is Tim's eyes could not focus on her eyes. His eyes focused on her breast. So that dog that he kept talking about in the pods was definitely coming out, and it was very clear to see that Tim was more infatuated with her body than her face. So fast forward, Marissa ends up choosing to move forward with Ramses because she feels more connected to him than she does with Bohdan. She feels more of a friendly relationship with Bohdan, so she moves forward with Ramses. Ramses ends up proposing to her, and they end up seeing each other, and I will officially crown this couple the hottest couple of this season. They look good together. I mean, they are the most swaggiest. I will crown them the swaggiest couple of the season. They both have style. They're both very beautiful people and they fit, okay? When they seen each other, that chemistry was absolutely there. The sexual tension was there. Funny thing is, the last couple to actually see each other was Nick and Hannah. And I was very nervous about this couple seeing each other. Nick ends up seeing Hannah. Could tell immediately he was so smitten by Hannah. He thought she was the most gorgeous thing in the world. You can tell Hannah was kind of turned off by Nick because I feel like Brittany was expecting a bigger jockey type of dude.
Okay, well, I'm so in love with you. I can't wait to spend every moment with you. So
You could tell in her body language, she's giving he'll do energy instead of, oh, he's mine energy. The couple that have successfully got through these episodes move on to Mexico. All right, guys, so now we're in episode 6. Episode 6 and 7, there's a lot of fluff throughout episode 6. But we do learn that the couples have gotten intimate, okay? With the exception of Garrett and Taylor, allegedly. I really feel like they want to respect their families, so they're not going to share the fact that they got intimate. But I mean, hey, if you want to paint your pony pink, do what you're going to do. All of them are enjoying their separate honeymoons, okay? There is a point that, of course, the first couple to really bump heads for real is Nick and Hannah. This is what I'm getting from Hannah, okay? Hannah is not as fun girl as she gives off, okay? I mean, maybe she's fun girl when she's with her friends, but when she's in a relationship, she gives very uptight energy, okay? Nick gives off fun energy. Everything doesn't have to be so cool. Like we're cool. You get goofy. Like, I feel like Nick was trying to, just showcase his fun side to Hannah. Hannah and Nick were on the beach, right? And there were these ducks in the sand. Not real ducks, but the fake ones. And he said, yo, would you feel some type of way if I went and, rode the duck or whatever? Just to be goofy. Hannah was acting too cool for school. And she was like, oh, it's going to give me the ick. Oh my gosh, it's going to give me the ick. What are you talking about? Like, we're just having fun. We're being goofy. That's why I say Hannah is very uptight. He goes ahead and he gets on the duck. But then this random old lady comes up, and when I say old lady, let's just say MILF, because mama, that lady was hot, okay? Do you hear me? She had a nice little body on her and everything. So this random lady comes up and she gets on the other duck and she races Nick in the sand. So, the lady is just being funny or joking around with him or whatever. And, she plays around with Hannah. She said, oh, you jealous? Don't be jealous. And even if I didn't want to ride the duck, I'd be like, that's my man, girl, bye, please. And not worried about it. Now, I do agree with Hannah for being a little irritated that he allowed the lady to get a little too comfortable and whisper something in his ear. And for Nick to say, oh, don't you jealous? Are you jealous? I feel like in a way, Nick, you purposely did that. You felt turned down by Hannah. You should have just been straight up with Hannah and told her, hey, I kind of feel like you kind of like looking down on me for being myself and it makes me feel uncomfortable. Communicate. That's one thing that I'm noticing that Nick and Hannah lacks. They lack communication. That night, it's a big pool party for all the, engaged couples to mingle, talk, see each other, see who's with who. And the party was kind of a little boring to me. It was like your typical party. It was kind of a little bland, I'm gonna be honest. Of course, here goes Hannah again. And I don't know why Hannah ends up being that one person on the show that does not know, like, you're talking too much and you're downing your fiance. Talk to your fiance. Really, really shady. She was talking about his sex game and how he doesn't satisfy her. Like, she talked too goddamn much. Nick opens up to the fellas at the party about how she indirectly created a list of 8 laws that Nick has. And I felt like that was very vindictive. She knew exactly what she was doing. She left that list out for Nick to find it because she didn't want to woman up and have the conversation. She wanted to be petty. So here's the real tea, okay? The highlighted moment was at the end of episode 6 after the party. Now, the next day, we see Alex go answer the door, and it's Tim. Now, why this is weird is if you guys share a room together, why is Tim knocking on the door? That means Tim did not sleep in the bed with you. So what happened? So supposedly Alex has a random episode where she leaves the party. She doesn't communicate with Tim that she's irritated. Supposedly she's homesick, okay? And instead of communicating to her fiance, Tim, hey, I'm a little homesick. I'm not really in the mood. She didn't communicate. She just stormed off. So that leaves Tim confused. So Tim is frustrated because if somebody is giving me attitude, I'm going to feel some type of way because you're not telling me what the issue is, and now I have to play mind games trying to figure out what the real problem is. Now, I noticed that they didn't specifically talk about exactly what happened. They kind of danced around it. It leads us to assume that Alex got a little physical with Tim. At one point he said, putting your hand over my mouth, and then we find out that she called this man out his name. At that point I could tell that Tim had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. On to episode 7, we end up finding out Tim ends up staying, end up going doom buggying and continue to move forward because they want to ideally make this work. Now already Monica is being mad annoying, okay? And the reason why I'm saying she's being mad annoying because it is your honeymoon, okay? You're on honeymoon. This process is like this, okay? You haven't even gave this man time. She's already hassling Steven about some goddamn flowers that he said that he'd be willing to get her in the pies. Girl, you mad about some flowers already? You're already talking about your love language and you want flowers, and don't say you're gonna do some if you're not gonna do it. And it's just like, oh, you're one of those. Now I'm kind of seeing why you're still single, Monica, because your high expectations of being pampered like you're a princess. Steven is what you claimed is what you've been wanting, right? Although I'm warning you that he's still a cheater, that you still have not brought up the real conversation about his past. I wouldn't have let that conversation just slide by because I need to know more details about this narrative back in your hometown. But that's neither here nor there because you're already engaged to this man, right? Couples end up linking up their last hoorah in Mexico for drinks and dinner. Monica then shows her royal black behind. At this point, Steven is having a very in-depth conversation with Garrett, right? Garrett just is venting to him, right? But then out of the blue, fireworks, boom, start happening. So all of the couples start going outside to look at the fireworks. Now keep in mind, Garrett and Steven are still inside talking because Steven is being a friend to Garrett and being a hearing ear. You know, Monica gets pissed off with Steven and says, you couldn't even, watch the fireworks with me. You should have came over here and watched the fireworks.
Taylor and I cuddled each other outside by the fireworks.
Your man and I were having a very serious moment about something, and then the fireworks happened, and I was like, I please finish your thought. I felt like it would have been rude to say, hey, hold on.
And Steven is just like, baby, don't be upset. Like, I'm trying to be here for Garrett. It's not me not trying to watch the fireworks, but I don't want to be rude. We find out that the conversation is veering toward dealing with what comes with being on the show and temptations and exes coming out the woodworks. And one thing that I wish Monica would have realized is the stuff coming out of Steven's mouth still regarding this narrative of exes and his past. Why are you not paying attention to this? Why are you not addressing it? I don't know, but I know I would. Okay, so now the couples are back in DC. This is around episode 7 and 8 that the couples start to meet the families. We see Taylor meets Garrett's family. That is the first. You can see that Garrett's family is mad emotional about this whole process. They're willing to support him, but I could heavily see, especially in his mother's face, she does not agree with this process. Rams, aka Ramses, he ends up expressing his lack of support for Marissa's time in service. One thing that we do find out is that Marissa is heavily proud of her past. She's proud of her time in service. She's proud of what it represents to her. The fact that Ramsey has a very opposing point of view because he comes from the other side, you know, of things, of war. He's seen the ugly side of it. So one thing that he is making very clear, he does not support it, and he would not support if Marissa ever decided to go back into service. He would not support that. It would cause a divorce. My whole thing is the fact that he can honestly say, hey, if this happens, we're going to divorce. He literally tells Marissa's friends this when he sits down with them. That makes me side eye him. Marissa, I would second guess walking down the aisle with him, because if he's willing to be out because of something that is a part of your life and you're with somebody that's already telling you to your face, I don't support it. I know it's your passion, but I don't support it. I don't care for it. And I would divorce you if you ever thought about going back in. What? Like, Marissa, you gotta listen to key points, okay? Now, as we get all through 8, 9, and 10, Steven finally takes Monica's materialistic behind to a flower shop so she can get the flowers that she's been freaking hassling this man for a minute, okay? We also find out that Monica has been financially covering Steven's expenses because Steven found out that he lost his job. His job was gone by the time that they came back to DC. But I respect Monica for being willing and patient enough to cover his expenses in the meantime while he looks for another job. Yeah, it blows up in her face. Do you know Steven got caught sexting some random girl? Bro, what? The way that Monica describes it, because she doesn't go fully into detail, but it's real kinky fetish type stuff. So that ends up ending the engagement. This all happens in episode 8. So their relationship ends. Hannah soon gets to go see where Nick lives, okay? And soon finds out that Nick still lives with mommy and daddy, okay? But it's very awkward to me, because if you're a 28-year-old man still living with mom and dad, it makes me believe that you're still not ready to man up or take responsibility for yourself. If I was Hannah, yeah, that would be something a little concerning. Like, what are your overall plans? Like, if we were to get married, like, are you ready to man up and to take care of a wife and possibly kids? Those are questions that Hannah should have for him. And in turn, Nick found out that Hannah has high OCD, okay? She's very controlling as well. First, he meets her brother. I feel like Nick should have took it for what it was when Hannah's brother told him, look, she's a great girl, but she can be very cruel. She has no filter. That has affected our relationship in real time. That is something he should have took note of, because if she's willing to act that way with family, imagine how far she'll go with her partner. Finally, Nick and Hannah are off of my radar in episode 9, because this is when she meets his parents. We begin to see why Hannah and Nick would really work. And the reason why I say this is because Hannah can help Nick grow up and evolve as a man, okay? She can help him in that process because he's ready, but he's never had the right partner to challenge him to evolve and grow. Hannah has that personality where she could help him. She has to figure out how to talk to people. The way that she talks to Nick is really like emasculating. And if Nick could start implementing growing up a little bit, Nick would help Hannah loosen up. Even Hannah's parents told Hannah, like, you know, he seems like a great guy, but you seem so uptight. We see Nick and Hannah, they do their little cute engagement pictures or whatever. Outside of the engagement pictures, Nick tries to explain to Hannah, like, look, you belittle me, and the way that you talk to me, it's like you look at me as lesser than you, and it doesn't feel good. And Hannah in turn expresses her frustration with the lack of know-how that Nick displays as a man, because she does want to be with somebody that can lead her, and in a way she feels like she has to lead him. Alex and Tim introduce each other to their personal spaces, their homes, right? You can tell Tim is a clean person, like he expressed in the pod. Alex is absolutely the person she expressed herself to be. Her house is messy. I believe the place where she actually sleeps in her apartment is the couch, because baby girl, all them clothes on your bed, she has clothes on the floor, even clothes in the floor of the closet. She lied to Tim and told him, oh no, I didn't know what I was gonna wear, so this is just from me packing before I came. Ain't no way. That's at least 2 months worth of clothes all over your apartment, but that's neither here nor there. I will say Tim and Alex have a beautiful moment. Tim barbecues for her family. He gets to meet her dad. He had a really intimate, emotional conversation with her dad, which made her dad very proud and happy to call him son. Okay, it went as far as accepting Tim as his son. I was blindsided by Tim and Alex in episode 10. Okay, now I'm so confused, but this is what I got from that scene. We know that Alex and Tim, you know, they sat down with his parents. We thought everything went well. I mean, at least I thought everything went well. We get to the next scene where we see that he comes into the room with Alex. Alex is trying to eat her food, and you could tell in her face that she has no idea what the issue is. She sits down to talk to Tim, where Tim explains that he is very displeased by her actions of falling asleep on his parents. Now keep in mind, initially I was looking at her sideways like, God dang, like his parents drove 10 hours to see you and you decided to walk away from them too, just like you did him in Mexico, and go to sleep on his parents. That's foul. When she explained exactly what was going on, I realized that Tim, this is way bigger than this whole situation. Tim is still holding Mexico against Alex. At the end of the day, you did not communicate to Alex that you felt some type of way towards her. Clearly see it in her face that she had no idea that you felt some type of way. You did not communicate. All you did was come in there and have a tantrum. Make it seem like this girl left your parents. This girl sat for 4 hours straight talking about being a vessel to your family. And then she went to work. She communicated with you. She responded to you. You felt some type of way because she went to sleep for 1 hour after sitting 4 hours straight talking to your parents. Are you serious, Tim? Really irks my spirit. You sat there and had that moment with her father. You had the nerve to have this really in-depth moment and promise that you're gonna take care of this man's daughter, and then you drop her like hotcakes. It's always a beautiful moment to see men allow themselves to be vulnerable enough to drop tears when it comes to their daughters. Nice to see the same thing happen with Tyler, where Ashley's father ended up, you know, talking to him, and he also gave Tyler his blessing. In episode 10, we also find out that Tyler got 3 kids. He got 3 of them. He got 2 girls and a boy. Biggest shocker of them all. But the thing is, he's not a deadbeat dad or anything like that. And explanation continues all throughout episode 10. His friend is lesbian, and her wife were trying to have children, and he donated his sperm to help them have children. So although it was honorable, you should have said that in the beginning, so you wouldn't have blindsided Ashley. Ashley is willing to move forward, but her whole thing is she brings up the fact that, hey, look, the fact that you're a father of 3 is always a possibility that these kids can come back around and want to have parts in our life. So, you know, she said, I don't like the way you did it, but that's not going to prevent me from moving forward with you. So in episode 9, Taylor finds out that Garrett's parents are telling him on the side not to marry Taylor at all, because for 1, you don't know her. For 2, we don't know her. Garrett was still willing to let Taylor know, look, even though these conversations are being had, I'm still here with you. I still want to marry you. I still want to move forward. He's really reassuring. And for that, I give him kudos for that. They're in episode 10 with Garrett and Taylor. They also have some blindsided moments. We find out that Garrett communicated with his ex-girlfriend and had the nerve to lie to Taylor about it and tell her, oh, well, my ex texted me, but I didn't respond. I just hearted the text message. So the wild thing is Garrett forgets that he told Taylor that he only liked the message, but while he was communicating with Tyler and Ashley and Taylor, he opens up about actually responding to her text message. So now Taylor is like pissed off and honestly doesn't even know if she can trust Garrett. So Ramsey meets Marissa's mother. And when I say Marissa mama is a straight up gangster, straight up goon, Marissa mama made it very clear, look, I'm not 100% on board with this process, and I really don't like you. Okay, that's what Marissa mama was given. Okay, she talked about Ramsey's giving real El DeBarge energy. She also talked about his Jerry curl and said, you know, you rock, your style is the 80s, man, and that ain't it. God dang, mama. Also got a little tea from Marissa's mama. We found out that Marissa, she definitely has a spicy side to her, a tendency to be like her mama, because her mama dropped the bomb and shed light on the fact that Marissa can be very bossy. And I do believe her because of the fact that when her mama was saying certain things about Marissa snapped back at her mama, and you saw it change in her face briefly, and then she changed back. And then also Ramses had confirmed that that is true, because they actually got into a fight that we were not privy to witnessing or seeing, but Ramses ended up confirming that they did have an argument where she was being a little bossy and they talked it out or whatever. Now the big thing from this meeting was Marissa's mama said that they need a prenup. She's not supporting or giving her blessing until there is a prenup. I feel like the energy that Ramses is getting is from a scorned woman. Not saying that mom doesn't want the best for her, but I do highly suggest that a lot of that energy is from the fact that, you know, Marissa's father and other men that Marissa's mother has dealt with in her life has done her dirtball. And knowing the potential of where her daughter can go in the future with her law degree, she just wants to protect her daughter. So by the end of episode 9, Ramses and Marissa end up having this fight where they're talking about children. Ramses doesn't want kids until 3 to 5 years from now. Marissa wants kids within 2 years. You know, that's her goal. Her fear is, you know, I don't want to be 37 trying to have kids, which is totally understandable. Ramsey's answer to that is, okay, well, get on birth control. So Marissa's rebuttal to that is, I don't like how birth control does my body. So no to birth control, but we can absolutely do condoms. Then Ramsey's rebuttal to that is, I don't like how condoms feel, so no. My whole thing is, Ramsey, at the end of the day, if you don't want children, then guess what? You're going to use a condom, okay? Because she already told you that she does not like how it affects her body. Now, with her sharing that with you, you as a man need to be more responsible. For you to tell her, oh, it doesn't feel the same. Well, sir, what do you want to do? Because at the end of the day, if you don't want kids, you're going to put on this goddamn condom, okay? And now their energy is off. So Ramses is definitely starting to show doubts in their dynamic, in their relationship. Marissa absolutely fears that Ramses, like I said, is dependable, and will he support her when there are major things that come up? What if she gets sick because she does have low vitamin D deficiency? What if when she, you know, does become a mother and she suffers from postpartum? Are you going to jump ship? Are you going to be there? At this party, a lot of the singles that didn't make it to Mexico actually pop up. Bohdan pops up and Marissa sees him. But then Marissa is reassured in her decision with Ramses, because she literally friend zones Bohdan at the party, but they still have that dynamic, that really friendly dynamic. So I'm happy that Bohdan didn't take it personal when she didn't choose him in the pods. And I'm gonna say this is a mix of episode 10 and 11. I was very irritated with Hannah, because can somebody please tell me, is Hannah and Katie friends? Anybody? Are they friends in real life, or were they friends in the pods? Because at the party, Katie, I don't know if y'all remember, Katie initially, it was Hannah and Katie who actually were talking to Nick in the very beginning. But the only difference is we saw Katie that one time and we didn't see Katie and Nick talking ever again. It was always Nick and Hannah. Katie is the same person that was throwing shade and telling Hannah that she should not talk to him. Katie, you wanted Nick, but for some reason, based off of what she says, she claimed that she ended it with Nick. But Katie is giving me real snaky. I feel like Nick D is exactly who Katie wanted to date to begin with. The moment that Katie comes into the party, Hannah stupidly pulls Katie over to Nick. Why? Katie ends up having a really good conversation with Nick. Supposedly she's flirting at this party with Nick, okay? By the time that the party ends, Hannah feels some type of way about Katie and Nick D's interaction, but you're the one that forced the interaction. I make it make sense. I don't understand. I don't get it. She takes her insecurity out on Nick because she's jealous. Katie is the pretty girl that always gets the guy in real life over Hannah. What we weren't privy to that we found out is that Katie came up to Hannah in the party about 3 times saying, "Ooh, he's actually fine. Like, he's so fine." I felt like Katie was playing on Hannah's insecurity. Hannah, that is not your BFF, boo. Why do you keep calling her your BFF, boo? Even though Katie stated that she ended it with Nick, does not mean that she's okay with Hannah having him. You know how certain shady girls are. Like, I don't want him, but I don't want you to have him either. We also see Taylor and Garrett in episode 11 go to San Diego to meet her family. Everything seems to mesh really well. We learned that her family is, although they're a little concerned, they have their full support with their relationship as well. Put on their dresses and all the girls look lovely. You also see the guys, you know, getting fitted for their tuxes, and obviously, not very surprising, we do not see Hannah, nor do we see Nick. All that I know is that we see Hannah tearing down Nick. She allowed their sit down with her friends. Same thing that she allowed to happen in the pods, she allowed to happen in real life. Like, girl, grow up. You allow other people to dictate your choices. You cannot tell me that Hannah did not allow her friends to convince her that she's making the wrong decision with Nick. These women don't know Nick. You know Nick. You went through the process with Nick. Your friends did not go through the process. I don't know. I wish Hannah the best of luck, but obviously, Nick, Hannah is not the woman for you. The woman for you is not going to tear you down the way that Hannah has been doing this whole experiment. Belittled your personality. She's belittled who you are. She belittles everything that you do. Like, that's not what a wife does. And you need a partner that's going to be more supportive. You need a partner that's going to appreciate you. You need a partner that's not going to control you and make you feel like you cannot be yourself. Or Hannah needs to heal herself at any freaking point. He could have hit you below the belt and humbled you. Nick needs to stand up and move out of his parents' house, and hopefully he will meet a woman that is more supportive of who he is. So we definitely see the breakup of Hannah and Nick. I'm getting very concerned about Ramses and Marissa. He talked to some family members and they kind of convinced him that this is not the right decision. Afraid to say this, but I feel like Ramses is not going to say I do. He's going to walk down the aisle, but he's not going to say I do. So let me go ahead and watch episode 12 real quick and I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm trying to beat the sun, but the sun is beating me. Okay, so let's just get into episode 12 because I just watched it and am I surprised? Absolutely not. Episode 12 opens up with Marissa and Ramses. It's exactly what I thought it was. He is non-committal, and I knew that from the beginning, and he hurt our girl. When I say I cannot wait for this reunion, because I clearly want to know what has happened since that awful breakup. And my heart goes out to Marissa. How can you 2 days prior tell Marissa that you are 100% ready to walk down the aisle, you can't wait to marry this girl, and then boom, you have a conversation with family and friends and you go Hannah on her? You allow outside influences to convince you that this is not the right choice for you? That doesn't even make sense. But pissed me off is that he literally sat there, you guys, and told Marissa, it's about your energy. It's about who you are. What? All these weeks of being around her and telling her that you love her for her, which leads me to believe that Ramsey was not on this show for the right reasons. I don't know. You cannot be up here with no black thong breaking Marissa's heart. All in all, Marissa's mom called it, and I hate to say that her mama was 100% correct. Just to wrap up the episode, Ashley and Taylor end up celebrating with their girls at this real cute sleepover type of vibes, and Garrett and Tyler ended up celebrating with the boys at a basketball game. Now, starting with Ashley and Tyler, the day of wedding day is here. We finally see Tyler's mom. His mom was so sweet and so supportive of him. Like, he really needed his mom to kind of get the jitters out because he was so nervous. It was so cute how nervous he was. Tyler didn't go too deep into it, but he does let us know that his father was uninvited. And I loved how the beginning of the wedding, they had the dancing ballerina like flower girls. That was so cute, and that was definitely Ashley for sure. Ashley's father gave her a really nice pep talk before he walked her down the aisle, and that was like a nice moment between them. And of course, both Tyler and Ashley said I do. So congratulations to Ashley and Tyler. Now moving forward to Garrett and Taylor, we open up with Garrett talking to his friends, and we realized that his parents are still not 100% on board with this process, but they are there to support him. He does have a nice moment with Taylor's dad. We finally get to see Taylor's dad on camera, because at first he did not want to participate, but obviously he changed his mind for this moment. Oh, and one thing that I noticed that was wild, you guys, is that I cannot believe how freaking similar Taylor and Garrett is to Taylor's parents. Like, they look identical. Taylor's dad and Garrett both have like that birthmark on their face, and Taylor looks like her mama. So it was so funny how similar they look. And they also got married on the 13th, just like Garrett and Taylor. Garrett and Taylor have a beautiful wedding as well, and they both say I do. But to be honest with y'all, I cannot wait for the reunion show that's going to drop on the 30th. Everybody's coming back, hopefully. And I want to see what everybody thought about everybody. Hopefully Hannah woke up and realized Katie is not her friend. Hopefully Leo got some sense. And Ramses, I want to know if he tried to reach out to Marissa again after he broke her heart. It's so many unanswered questions. So I am looking forward to the reunion show to drop on the 30th. You guys, let me know your thoughts on this overview of season 7. Please leave your girl some love and like the video. Make sure if you are not subscribed to your girl, you subscribe, because I got so many more reviews coming. And I appreciate y'all's time, because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend the time with me. So I appreciate you guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.
I like to call it a passion. I can be sitting relaxing. PG, we getting some traction. I'm at the views packing.